Changing the frame, Bill's on the mic with the Joe Rogan flair. Learning the journeys, every story we share. Chat with the builders from the chain to the stars. Discovering gems, breaking all the bars. Yo, the crowd's feeling it, energy's alive. Spotlight on the tales where the future arrives. Bass in the air, every story's a spark. Late night on bass, we're light in the dark. Bass night stories on the stage, we vibe. Talk show magic where the chain comes alive. Tokens in the flow, let the legends provide. Late night on bass, we're taking it worldwide.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Late Night on Base, the road to Onchain Summit 2025 in August. Every Tuesday, this show is sponsored by the Onchain Summit team, the number one conference for base, in my opinion. It's just such a dope vibe. In the Howard in August, everyone will be there. A lot of people from the base core team, like Jesse, will be there. It's dope. Get your tickets today. Anyways, guys, welcome. Happy Tuesday. We're going to be doing a dope show today. We have some killer guests. Like, sometimes, like, all my guests are dope, right? They really are. But today's lineup, fuego. En fuego, that means in fire in Spanish for those that don't speak it. You know, we got Limon from Farville, the number one mini app on Farcaster. You know, Farcaster's interesting, right? I've been trying to build my account on Farcaster. I'm literally like a peon there. Like it's hard. It's hard to build an account there. But hey, I'm trying. But guys like Limon, he's a stud. He's a celebrity. And he's also a really cool guy building a dope project. His company actually helps you if you're looking to create a Farcaster mini app. His company helps you. That's what they do. And, if you've been watching my show, the Farcaster, you should triple down on Farcaster. Farcaster is, going to be integrated in Coinbase Wallet, or what were they saying? TBA. I guess they're changing their name. So if you have beta access and you've tested it out, like everything is living in the feed. So that's going to be the distribution vehicle to onboard masses. So if you're a developer or you have a project, highly recommend getting in touch with someone like him or bring in someone on the tech team that can build a Farcaster mini app, because Base is tripling down on that, and it pays to do what the big wigs do. But anyways, we also have Zach from Roor. Oh, man, he's going to be cooking on that one. We're going to be talking about swag. I see him in the backstage, too. He's looking pretty swaggy. I like the hat, I like the vibe. Get him on. And then we have the former team of Farcade, Chuck. I was like shocked one day. I just like was Googling, or no, I was on X, and like I saw Farcade changed their name. I had no idea. But I've had Chuck on, and super dope dude. Farcade's another one that's been taking Farcaster by storm. I had them on the live stream. No, actually, I had them on a podcast. Like within the first 3 days, I just saw their metrics. I was like, this guys are going to be big. Plus, I like retro gaming. So I wanted him to come on to talk about why the name switch. So anyways, it's a dope show. We're going to start off. Oh, actually, let me share this link out to the people, to the audience. So we're going to listen. My streams these days have been pretty dope. I'm blessed that they're getting some views. I always like to play a game as to how many views will the stream gets. Today with this show, 2,500 at least, minimum. If I don't get 2,500, again, my mom will be disappointed in me. Do not disappoint my mom. For the guest, I have just put in the private chat the link to the show. Stream it out. Chads, each and every one of you. All right, so before we start the show with the guests, it's Tuesday, right? And I'm just going to show you guys the macro charts. And you guys might be wondering why. Well, I'll tell you why. Because number going to go up. If these coins go up, your bags are going to go up. And I know all you guys don't own Bitcoin, but you probably do own XRP. It's all the same shit, man. XRP goes up, Bitcoin goes up. But just look at this chart. This is Chef's Kiss. This is we're going to get girlfriends. Yes, every one of you will get girlfriends or boyfriends. Hey, you swing either way, all good. You will find love, because I feel the next month on base is going to be popping, because it all starts with the big wig. So like XRP is about to just pop to like $3. I really do believe so. Bitcoin's at 109K. This is not a chart you fade. Like this thing has just been so like Bitcoin's going to be breaking its all-time high at 111. Who knows how high it goes? And what do you think it means for your bags? They're going to get pumped. Unless if you own dog shit. If you own dog shit, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to do well. But just look at this. This is just beautiful. ETH is at 2,600. I mean, I don't even need to like tell you why these are bullish. I mean, this is just when ETH runs your base memes, in all seriousness, your base memes are just going to go through the roof. And I know a lot of you are base maxis, and I know a lot of you guys are degens who also like to learn utility projects, which is, what I bring. I bring best of both worlds. So yeah, when this runs, it's just gonna pop. And so man, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. And again, this is the one that I look at. I look at the ski mask dog chart. And there's a ton of base memes that are really good. Ski and, Toshi, and you can't really go wrong. These are blue chips to me. And this is all I'm seeing. This is not a chart you fade. And this is going to be representative of every single base meme that's established. And I think base is going to be the talk of the town. And when base is the talk of the town, there's no better place like it. And if you look at this candle, sorry, Bill needs his coffee. It's delicious. April to May was of 2024 was an incredible time in the market. It was euphoria. People were like, "What the hell? This is not the Fed chain. This is a chain that's giving me generational wealth." I faded it, but that's actually around the time I was like, "All right, you know what? Maybe there is something here. Let me get a microphone and start speaking to people." That's when I started. But basically, in 1 month, it was just a massive candle. There's going to be a month. I'm predicting next month or two. I think it's coming. The same type of thing because it's all Elliott waves, everyone. I'm not just saying this. There's 5 waves in every move. We're due for a move. And this next move up could be the strongest move you'll see this whole cycle because I think the cycle doesn't have too much legs left. So, things like ski 40 million to hopefully 2 to 3 billion. Oh my gosh. You know how many people are going to come to base if that happens? You know how many people are going to want to get assistance to build a mini app? Everyone's going to come. Everyone's going to come. And I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for it. And you're going to want to use Builder's Garden, again, from Farville, Limon. I think you're going to be a busy man. But anyways, enough with the charts. Today is all about utility. But if you guys do decide you ever want to dabble with some alts and you like leverage, yes, I'm going to shill. That is my referral link. You should use it. Why, you might ask? Well, it supports Bill, but you also get bonuses. And we're all degens, so might as well support the homie. Link there. Non-KYC exchanges. Well, anyways. We have over 400 people. It's time. You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring up our first guest of the day.
Hello.
Farville, how are we doing, bro?
Doing great. Thank you, Bill, for the invite.
Pleasure's all mine. I should say thank you for staying up late in Italy. Out in Europe.
I mean, I just had dinner, so I'm really pumped for this session on mini apps and Farville as well.
I'm in all seriousness, I'm excited for this too, because in my intro I was saying and I've noticed this for a long time. Coinbase is doubling down, or Base is doubling down on Farcaster. Everything they're doing is integrating Farcaster in this new TBA. And so I can see where things are going. And to me, if you're a project in this space and you want to get amplified, you want to get distribution, it's through a mini app because that is what they're pushing. So let's talk to you. So first of all, we have about 460. My goal today is 2,500 plus. I will get there. Bill doesn't lie. I feel it. Anyway.
Let's do it.
All right. So Limon, if you don't mind though, for the people that are tuning in for the first time, coming across you for the first time, why don't you just tell us who is Limon, and more importantly, what is Farville?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, my name is Simone. I live in Rome, in Italy, and I've been running a community here in Rome, like onboarding builders and people on chain, in Web3 in general. In the meantime, of course, I've been hacking my way around like different products and projects, hackathons. This because my background is in computer science and engineering, so I love coding. I love creating digital products. So nowadays I'm more like curating, let's say, the not only like building and actually coding stuff and so on, but also curating the visual or like communication around any of the projects that we ship. I've been building on base for a couple years at this point, and the energy, the community, the vibe that we feel there, like the support even of the team and the ecosystem in general, especially if you're building in consumer applications with on crypto rails. I think it's the best place to be, and that's also the case for Farcaster, because in the end, like Farcaster with mini apps, in the end, like I think it's helping us solving the hardest problem that we've been having in the past few years building in the space, and it's about distribution. So many people, of course, I think overestimate like the importance of having, I don't know, a cool product, super complex, I don't know, protocol, whatever. But in the end, if you don't have users, it doesn't matter. And not only because nobody is using it, but also because without users, you don't get feedback and you can't really, iterate on whatever idea you have. And the cool thing about Farcaster and soon also TBA, the new Coinbase wallet, is that you can build like these mini apps and them ready to be used by users right inside a social feed. So the cool thing is that you ship a new product and there's a ton of people ready to try it out. Simply by scrolling their feed, they stumble upon your mini app. Somebody maybe shared it on the Farcaster social, and they can start using it. And so what's cool is that even Farville, it started as a simple idea and vibe coded project in a couple of days during Christmas time. And thanks to all the users that tested it out in the first days of January, we've been able to evolve it in time. And it's now, I think, 7 months that we're working on this game. And it's been amazing to build a community, to get like constant user feedback, even bugs, like we had a ton of bugs, of course. It's nothing like perfect, but the distribution that we got by building a mini app, it's been incredible. And with the new Coinbase wallet, I hope it will get even better. Like there's a ton of users that I'm sure Base will onboard.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think okay, so there's a lot to unpack there, and I agree with literally everything you said. Number one, though, you're absolutely right. Without distribution, without people actually using a project or a product, your product is nothing. There's such cool things that are being innovated, or a lot of people are innovating really interesting ideas, but you need people to use them. And that's the biggest thing. Otherwise, it just gets lost in the sea of crypto. You can have the most amazing thing ever, but if no one's using it, no one's testing it, and you don't get distribution, unfortunately, it's not gonna do well. So, case in point comes what Farcaster mini apps can do. So, very interesting. And you guys have now created Farville into the biggest mini app currently. So why don't we do this? Because I want to talk a lot about just the idea, how you think it's going to look in distribution wise and all that. But why don't we start off with showing users what Farville is? Let's do a test run, so they can kind of understand what a mini app does and the gameplay, and see what Farville is about. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, can I share my screen?
Absolutely. We have about 910 people, guys. Remember, 2,500 is the goal. If I do not get 2,500, my mom will be disappointed. Do not disappoint your mother. All right. So we are okay. So let's check this out. So right now we are on Farcaster, the site, right? This is not the wallet.
Yeah, it's the website. It's easier. It's like to share the screen here. So for those who don't know Farcaster, it's a social network, decentralized social network with Twitter-like. So there are people posting, and the cool thing is that people can also not only share links but also share mini apps within the feed. These mini apps, you can save them as much as you save like apps or install apps on your phone device. And so this is my collection of mini apps, like a bunch of them that I've been using lately. But you can also check like top mini apps here. There's also like a leaderboard for the best performing that are rewarded every week. So this just to give you some context, but let's get into Farville. So As you can imagine by the name, like what we did with Farville was like something very simple, let's say, or dumb. Like we know how much like Farmville on Facebook was popular back in the days, right? Bill, did you play Farmville on Facebook by any chance?
No, but I had people that were obsessed with it. Back in the day, I wasn't much of a gamer, but I did play Floppy Bird. That was the one I played a lot.
Yeah. The cool thing about Farmville and a bunch of games that Zynga, the company, built on Facebook is that they were social first. And what
Okay.
we've seen with the Farcaster and these mini apps is like an opportunity to recreate that same context or vibe. So we started building Farville as a, farming simulation game, but with Farcaster. So what happens is that you have your farm, you have some seeds like carrot seeds. Some carrots are ready to harvest. So whenever I harvest some of my crops, I get experience points, and this is what the game is about. It's like getting more experience points, climbing the leaderboard, and there's even some USDC prize for the top performers of the weeks. So what you have to do on Farmville is basically planting your crops. There's 11 types: potatoes, eggplants, carrots, a bunch of them, and you can check them out in the market, so people can buy seeds, but they can also sell crops. So I just harvested some carrots, and I can sell 5 of them for 40 coins. Coins are like just in-game,
Okay.
an in-game currency. And so you sell coins. With coins, you can buy also some fertilizers to speed up the growth, because like each crop takes different time to grow. Carrots take 4 hours, but pumpkins, for example, they take 24 hours. So like these perks help you speeding up the game. As I told you, there's a leaderboard. So the cool thing about Forecaster and these mini apps is that you can easily pull in the social graph information. So for example, of course, there's a global leaderboard. This is like a weekly leaderboard for the top players. So Akins is leading this week. But we have a bunch of them. Like the top 50 every week are winning a pool of 63 USDC. There's a global leaderboard overall. So Far Wallet is the most experienced player in the whole Farville with more than 1 million experience points. You also have quests, by the way. So you can complete quests by harvesting, 6 carrots, selling some crops, even requesting stuff to your friends. And so like quests are very powerful to get more experience. And the cool thing again about Forecaster is that you are here with your friends. So this is a leaderboard dedicated to my friends. So only people that I'm following on Forecaster will appear on this leaderboard, and so that I can compete with people that I know about, right? That's the most important thing about quests here. As I was mentioning, you have some quests to daily quest auto-generated to plant some corns, harvest tomatoes, or even receive pumpkins. So how does one really collaborate with people on Forecaster? You have like this feature that you can request 4 pumpkins or 5 pumpkins. Let's request like 10 pumpkins to people that follow me on Forecaster. So I can click share here. It's opening a new tab, and it's creating a cast, like a tweet, where I'm requesting 10 pumpkins, and people can click on here. So if I go on my profile, people can click on here and donate to me. There's a Farville dedicated channel where you will see a bunch of people sharing stuff. So today is a special day because people can donate to speed up the game. So you won't see many requests, but there are feuds, for example, on Farville. So recently we introduced this clan feature where you can create a group and compete with other feuds out there. So the Sharks, for example, are the top performing feuds with more than like close to 4 million experience points, while Haas, the Kings of Farville, are just like 500,000. So we need to green more, let's say. So like I think the most important thing that I wanted to mention about Farville and how it went like viral on Farcaster is because we made it like very social. We prompted people a lot of time to share stuff on the social feed, and that worked as a viral distribution channel. So even your position in the leaderboard, for example, you can share it on the Farcaster feed, so you can flex if you are the first in the leaderboard. There are daily streaks. I've not been playing lately. I was off for a week, so my streak is just 1 day.
Ooh,
But there are people with
only one. Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, there are people there are people that have been playing these on, I don't know, 150 days streak, and they can
Wow.
flex it on the forecaster feed. So it's something that we've been learning along the way, and and of course we are reapplying on many of the applications and mini application that we are building on forecaster. uh, that's the gist, I guess. If you want to try it out, you can simply, I mean, you need a forecaster account, of course. You can go on farville.farm. It's free to play. You can play it on forecaster, but you can also play on the new Coinbase wallet as soon as it will be released.
So you would be saying one of the big success, based on what I'm gathering, one of the
Yeah,
key components of why Farville has done so well is because they've tapped into the social aspect, correct? So
exactly.
is that something that you knew early on, or is that something that after getting feedback and realizing this is what the community wanted, then you pivoted more to that? Like, how did that thought process come where you knew social is the way to go?
Um, I think it started spontaneously, so we didn't think much about it because we didn't have much experience. It was even like the first time I was building a game, so really interesting journey so far. But we started very simple. We started with just this simple request function, so we wanted to allow people requesting, and that's something that also was happening on Facebook with Farmville. So people were sharing with their friends some special requests that their friends could help them, fulfill somehow. And so we started very simple with this request, and it was one of the most used features because people that really wanted to climb at the top of the leaderboard, they needed to not only maximize their harvested crops but also donate as much as possible, because by donating you also get some experience points. And so back in the days, like now, probably like you won't see as many requests as there were like a couple months ago. But back in the days, there were like ton of people sharing requests, and that worked very well as a marketing effort. And since it worked well, we doubled down on that same effect, and so we introduced different components that you can share. So this is Caso, one of my team members and colleague. He's on a 10 days ago. He was on a pretty long streak,
Wow,
like almost
134.
4 months.
Wow.
Astromark, 100 days. This is something that I didn't mention, that on Farville you have your profile page where you can collect some special badges. So for example, I'm Bugs Bunny Carrot level 2, and you can share it on the feed as well. So this user here, for example, they shared that they are very beginner because they just harvested 800 strawberries. You also have gold crops. So we created a bunch of these shareable moments, and that's what worked the best for marketing, because it was not only us pushing the game, but everybody playing. And there are around like 3,000 daily active users on Farville.
Wow.
Everybody is sharing something on the feed, and so you're sure that new users are coming in just because people are sharing and people are scrolling, right?
Yeah, I think the sharing aspect is, it's one thing if the company is just pushing it out or the developers, but you create this viral moment when potentially these daily active users are all sharing it as well. It creates this loop where it's just like
Exactly.
everyone on your chain, on your feed is talking about Farville, not just one, but potentially everyone who's playing it. Like, whoa, I want to. So it makes total sense that you need to triple down on the social aspect, because that's what's going to get people to talk about. That's what's going to get free marketing, free advertising. People want to play there. So I think you're spot on. I think you need to have a reward mechanisms. I guess the way I personally look at mini apps is give people an incentive and a reason to keep coming on daily. And I
Yeah.
think in your case, you've solved that. You have XP. People want to come on the leaderboard, and there's always something new to play. Farming the crops and stuff. So there's always something to do. So it makes sense. Let me ask you this though: for a non-technical person, say they have an amazing idea. Obviously, you have a tech background, so you can create these things. And I know Base has started to put out documents out there of like, hey, this is how you build a mini app. But like, and there's vibe coding now. I've even tried vibe coding, but it's kind of hard once you start deploying on Versal and all that stuff. What would you recommend? And maybe it's use a service like yours with the Builder's Garden, or maybe not. What would you recommend to the person who has a project? Maybe it's a meme coin, maybe it's an idea. They want to build a mini app, but they've never done so and they're non-technical. What would you say to those people?
So first of all, it depends what type of mini app they're looking to build. If they're looking to build a game, even something simple and casual, I think that Remix and you will have Chuck Stock later, right? They have an awesome like mini app studio. I'm not sure if you can access it from the mini app, but basically, the cool thing about Remix X Farcade is that people can come here, vibe code a game, and find distribution. Yeah, you see, like build your own game. So this is probably like the starting point when I would go build a game on remix.gg, and Chuck Stock later will for sure like share more information how does it work. But it's super helpful to go from idea to prototype, find your first users, iterate on their feedbacks, and be featured on the Remix mini app, which is one of the most popular out there. So this is like, especially if you're building a game, this is what I would recommend, because game are also something that I figured in time when we're building Farville and a bunch of other games within Builder's Garden, is that like games take a lot of effort in building, but also in designing it with the right economy and balances. So if you're not a game designer or a game developer, like we weren't, and so we had a lot of issues and things to solve and fix. It takes time. I think that Remix, if you want to build a game, is the best place where to start. If you want to build a more general purpose mini app, there's other AI tools that you can use, like Oara, for example. I'm not sure if they have it's Oara AI. I don't think they have a mini app, but definitely have a website. Try Oara AI.
Shout out to Brexton, who is on the O'Hara podcast. If you haven't done so already, check it out on YouTube. Me and him chatted it up, and also Onchain on Pods.media. Simple plug.
And Oara on Oara, on like all the apps that you vibe code there are also mini apps. So this is the best place to start. Then of course, if you want something more like tailor-made, something that like maybe it takes more than vibe coding and just a couple days of like shipping, because you have a strong idea, you already validated it, or you feel strong about it. There's definitely like studios,
Builder's Garden.
like Builder's Garden. Yes,
let's go. Tell me about
We can
Builder's Garden.
Yeah, I mean, like we are, of course, like building our own mini apps, like Farville. We also have Squabble, which is another game that we recently shipped, and it's more like it's like Scrabble but real time with micro stakes on base still, so you can play Scrabble with your friends.
Is this kind of like Words with Friends? Remember that game?
Yeah, kind of. It's similar because, like, again, you need to place words on the board, but in this case, it's real time, so it's not asynchronous. You play in 1 minute with your friends, and whoever plays most words wins the pool. So you can stake one USDC each, and whoever places more words, scores more points, wins the pot. That's the game. And this will also be available on the new TBA Coinbase wallet. So we build mini apps internally, and everything that we are learning along the way in the past like 6-7 months of building these mini apps and building in Web3 for the past years, we are also, of course, using this knowledge, first of all, to help and mentor other builders out there. But then we're also helping and supporting many companies or builders out there that need some development power to ship their mini app. And in that case, of course, like we not only cover the technical part of actually building a mini app, but also curating the product, understanding how to make it viral, using all these social components that we've been learning in time thanks to our internal mini apps. So of
Amazing.
course, like if you want to build something and need some dev shop that helps you, we can definitely chat. But also, if you just want feedback or if you have an issue or a bug with building your mini app, like feel free to reach out to me on Forecaster. I'm limone.it. I'm super happy to help you.
My last question for you, Limon. On a more serious note, obviously you can tell that you're very, very passionate about what you're building, what you're doing for these mini apps in general, what it means to people like you, to other projects, and developing it for other projects. You can just tell you're super passionate. My question simply to you is, where does this passion come from? What makes you could be doing literally anything you want on chain. You're a very smart man. Um, we can all tell that. And you could be doing literally anything, but you've chosen the path of creating mini apps on Forecaster. Simply put, why?
I love enjoying. I love like building stuff in general, like creating. And I love seeing people using and or somehow benefiting or having fun with the things that I built. I think this started with my passion with Minecraft. I was playing Minecraft back in, I don't know, 10 years ago, probably at this point. And when I have time, like right now, I still play it. But I remember that both like the Minecraft, like survival and creative mode, uh, got me really passionate about, like using all these building blocks in a, whatever like creative way you can use them together. And with Web3 and especially like mini apps, I think the life cycle of like building something, reusing something that is existent and composable, of course, it makes it like much easier, and I really like enjoy the process of like going from an idea to something that is out there that people are using, and they give me feedback or they tell me, hey, I really enjoy the game. I'm coming like back on a daily basis. I can't stay without it. Of course, it's an addiction probably that they are building, but
Yeah,
it makes me so happy that like to hear what they think about it, what they like, what they don't, and just ideas coming together and improving in the process. I think that's what I love, like really creating something from my own studio. I can be at home, I can be in any part of the world, and just with my laptop I can create something that wasn't existent before, and people can access it right away. If you want to open, I don't know, any other kind of activity, let's say I want to open a restaurant, it's
sure.
not that easy, it's not that fast. There's a bunch of stuff that you need to do in the real world, but with digital products and Web3 in particular, you can be global from day one. um, that's what I like the most. It's like the adrenaline, or maybe it's
Yeah.
dopamine, I don't know, of shipping and being in this continuous feedback loop.
You literally can be worldwide on day one. So true. So true.
Yeah.
Limone, pleasure. Thank you for coming on the podcast, man. Or actually the live stream.
Thank you so much, Bill. Again, it's been awesome, great session, and best luck to the other presenters today.
They're gonna have a tough time. Zach, you're gonna have a tough time following up from Roar. We have 2,338 solo money. We didn't hit 2,500, but by the end of the show, we will surpass that, and they can watch on replay. And also, for anyone tuning in, if you couldn't catch the whole thing, we're gonna cut up this into a podcast as well. So eventually, we'll be on Spotify. Distribution to me also is not just putting it on chain, like on pods, which is great, but we need the real world to come in and
Yeah,
consume this stuff. And if we want to get 1 to 2 billion users, we got to put stuff on YouTube. We got to put stuff on Spotify. We got to go where they are. And so we are going to be putting that as a podcast. And so Limone, when it's out, I will let you know. But it's been a pleasure, man. Cheers.
amazing. It's been a pleasure. Cheers, Bill.
Take care, my
Bye.
friend. Bye bye. Wow, Zach from Roar. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I think you're gonna have a hard time following that up, but I believe in you, bro. I believe in you. And to everyone else, that's what we call being based. I really enjoyed having Limone on. I think it's super cool talking to people like him We're just builders at heart. And I'm telling you, building is not easy, but there are tools out there. So like, if you can't, maybe you don't want to, you're on a budget, you can't use like Builder's Garden or whatever, check out Remix. We'll have Chuck on and he'll tell about that. There's other opportunities, get a dev, I don't know what it is, but that's how you make it. And it was great insight by him. Remember, if you're building a mini app on Farcaster, virality and creating it so it's very social are two of the most important things. I've done my research as well with Topi. And we have Ark, who's our dev, who's creating certain things, and we've realized that is the way to go. So newsflash, create it as viral and make it fun based. But yes, without further ado, though, the next guest, Zach, my friend.
Is
How
it,
are we?
can I opt out? I can't
Yeah,
follow
bro. It
that.
was it was great to see you. Take care. I'll see you in San Francisco.
Perfect. Yeah, that was a great guest. I was taking notes. Squabble. I'm definitely gonna challenge some folks on that because
Bring it on,
gambling and games.
bro.
Like
This is,
I'm all in.
bro. I'm a DGen, so basically, everyone in crypto somehow has a gambling addiction, just to a varying degree. If you're gambling in meme coins, let's just be honest.
Yeah,
But I'm down. We'll play.
connection.
How you doing, Zach? Tell us about you, man. First of all, before we get into you, how are we doing today, man? It's Tuesday. How's your day going?
Doing great. Better than I deserve. Just out here. It's a nice day in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm just soaking it in, building, trying to find the balance between touching grass and doing all the things that are on my mind and what we need to build. Plugging hard on this upcoming Onchain summit. Super excited about our partnership, with Kevin and the Howard and Onchain Summit. All the partners. Last year was fun. We won't rehash that. You've talked about it a lot, but just given that we've had a year now to plan for it and seeing all the things starting to come together, super excited about it and excited to talk about what we've been doing.
Let's talk all about what you're cooking. We have 2,346 people tuned in. Like I've told everybody, we have to get to 2,500. Do what you have to. Bribe your friend. Just get me to 2,500. Can't disappoint. Mom, very
Yeah, it
close to
didn't
her.
happen if we don't get to 2,500.
I mean, literally, I've taken a weird road. Like in real life, I was a professional, like a attorney, a licensed attorney, and then I quit all that to become a DJ talk show host. So mom has high expectations of me, thinking I'm crazy. So at least we can do is get 2,500. But anyways,
Yeah, we don't want you to get back into the legal world. That's the
no,
last thing we
no,
want.
bro. I'd rather just collect pennies being homeless, man. Once you are in the DJ world, bro, I don't know. Someone will pay me to like shit post or something. I don't know. I'll find a way. But Zach, talk to us, man. All right, so we have quite a few people on stream. They might be coming across you and Roor for the very first time. So before we talk about where you're cooking, talk to us. What is Roor.io?
Yeah, so Roor.io is this agency that we've built over the last 4 or 5 years. We actually started the first seeds of this in 2020. And essentially, what we try to do is bring brands and people on chain, and we meet them where they are. We've had a big focus on creatives, trying to find interesting ways that, and I'll use this term loosely, but bringing their projects on chain or on chain projects into the real world. And so we've worked with graphic designers, worked with sneaker designers, we've hosted workshops where folks cobble sneakers, but also create the digital versions of them and bring them on chain, and just really trying to show the use case of the technology through some, what we like to say is dope shit only. Pardon my French. I don't know if you can bleep that out in post
Never. I want more
production.
of those. I want more of those.
But yeah, so just trying to bring brands on chain, and then projects who are on chain, bring them into the kind of in real life projects and experiences that we put on, like workshops, like summits. And we have a partnership with a local sports team here called the Oakland Roots, and so doing a lot of stuff in stadium around, you know, collector cards and art galleries and things like that. So we partner a ton with the Onchain Summit team, with the Howard and Kevin Best, working with the team that's working on all the dimes stuff too. So we just are all about bringing dope shit on chain.
I love it. Dope shit on chain should literally be your tagline. You might get taken down, but I think that sums it up perfectly.
We
Um,
tried to sneak it in there somewhere. Yeah.
all right, so talk to us. No, but I think it's important. We're going to talk about 2025, but I think it is important to talk about 2024 and kind of like how it went for you guys. Talk to us about like how did you guys get involved with Kevin and Onchain Summit, because that was a year. Base was still kind of relatively new. I mean, it wasn't around too long, and this was the first event. And even Kevin was saying Onchain Summit was just kind of like last minute. It wasn't as planned, but it turned out well. So talk to us about how
Mm-hmm.
did Roor get involved in this whole thing?
Yeah. Well, we get behind Kevin and his team no matter what they're doing, because they have a decades long track record of putting together, coming up with lofty ideas and then executing, in the experience and hospitality world. So, in my previous career or life, I did a lot of events and experience type things with Kevin and the Howard team. And so when they proposed, and also similarly situated as a DGen. And so when he proposed that they were going to build an event around what was going on with Base and Coinbase, we had been, following along with that, and from the beginning, and we thought it was a great idea. And so, um, the opportunity to participate and bring what we do to the table to the On-Chain Summit, I think at this point, lots of people have seen the digital artwork, the billboards, all the PFPs. That's our studio that makes all that. Um, so like being part of the branding and just the ethos of On-Chain Summit, and then in the summit itself, we were able to bring out some of the creatives that we work with, to do some custom bag workshops downstairs, to build a merch store that, last year it was there, but it wasn't, again, with running up against the timeline, it wasn't everything we wanted it to be. And so we're going to dive into that in a minute, but this year we've really had the time to build it. And so, yeah, just adding layers onto the summit, that make it a special experiential time for people. What we agreed with and see eye to eye with the On-Chain Summit team is, we didn't want this to feel like just another summit or convention where you go in, grab your swag bag, find a shitty turkey
Yeah.
sandwich, and get a couple business cards from people. We wanted people to walk away saying that was dope and I want to do it again. And I think we achieved that in year one. And we're super critical of ourselves. So we knew that we executed that, at 80%, and that this time around we wanted to really hit it out of the park. So that's what we've been working on.
Well, let's dive in. 2025, I think, is going to be the best on-chain summit, better than last year. And last year was a blast. I had a great time, but I know with the amount of preparation that Kevin's doing, with what you're doing, it's only going to get better. So I'm stoked. Again, guys, this episode's obviously powered by On-Chain Summit 2025. If you haven't done so, pay in dimes. Go to the dime shop, buy your ticket. It's really a fucking good deal. It's like $500, but it's like everything you can eat, drinks, casino night, entertainment. It's just a good time and swag. So let's talk
Yeah, the
about it, Zach.
value's there for sure.
For sure. Zach, let's talk. All right. So the first pinned tweet that we have right now is Roor from you. Turning on-chain
Yeah.
projects into in real life merch available online at On-Chain Summit or On-Chain SF 2025. Pay with USDC T-Bay. Talk to us.
Yeah, so this is, been a long time in the making, but there's, Oaklandish is a brand here in the Bay Area that has a pretty large following, especially a cult following, but they're a culture brand, and they make merchandise. And so they're not on chain. They're not on chain. They're just a traditional, they have brick and mortars, they have an online shop, they do a ton of merch sales, and they partner with a lot of cool brands. They do a lot of collab stuff. If you go up there onto the shop, you can see the list of all the different partners and projects that they do, and the collections and partners. So it's just a very well-established brand, and they manufacture everything here onshore in the Bay Area. It's super high quality. When you're designing and manufacturing things with them, you're talking to a human on the other line or in real life, and figuring out, what it is you want or your needs. So it was really important for us to partner with a brand like that and a business like that, like has that human touch and feel and interaction with. And so we've been working with them for a little over a year, bringing their business on chain. And so they're starting to accept crypto payments. They're hosting the On-Chain Summit shop. And so we're offering to any partner or project that, whether they're coming to the On-Chain Summit or not, with Roor, we can help design a line of merch and put it up on this shop. And also, Oaklandish will also manufacture it and have it on hand. Not shipped to you in boxes with mixed sizes and unfolded, on racks for sale in the On-Chain Summit shop.
Wow.
So attendees will be able to shop through the shop in person at the summit. They'll also be able to go online onto this page right here, where you can see we have the 2024 swag available, and all of it will be able to be purchased in USDC in crypto.
That is so incredibly based. Before we dive in more questions on that, I just want to give a shout out to Gugod, GM King. No, friend, you are the king. Shout out to you. For those that don't know, Goo is a master when it comes to the trenches. Him and Chaos Chris, my host on the show, The Next Layer. Highly recommend following him. Appreciate you, Goo. All right, so Zach, talk to me about the process, though. Okay, so this is really cool. So basically, if you're a brand or say a project in crypto,
Yeah,
you want to create merch. You don't know where the fuck to begin, because who knows where to begin. We're not clothing designers. They come to you, Roar. You have the relationships with Oaklandish. Oaklandish creates it, puts it on their site, and then that's the distribution. And now I can go on Chain Summit and purchase a dope
that's
swag.
right. That's right. So we have a URL that's tied to the On-Chain Summit page. So it's let me make sure I don't mess this up. It's onchainsummit.io/merch, and it has a step-by-step process of how to submit an inquiry. And what we've done is we've streamlined it so there's a fixed price, and it includes several items that you can see, and we will work with you to make sure that the specs are right, to make sure that the fitting is right. And the beauty of working with Oaklandish is they're have a ton of experience in this world. So when it comes to different size ways and what size ranges you need and what quantities are going to sell and how to price things so that they sell, we have experts in house that can really help direct that. And the beauty of this model, although at first it might be a little sticker shock at the price, the beauty is that you, the project, own all of that inventory. You're not getting 10% of these sales. You're getting, all of the net proceeds, which are the proceeds minus, shipping and handling and any sort of other upcharge that you might have. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a way for, I don't want to give anyone the impression that they're going to like be able to retire off of this, but it's a way to generate, it's not going to cost your project to do things. There's an upfront cost, but then you're going to recuperate that and potentially even then some. So yeah, it's just a cool mechanism for projects to ultimately have a zero cost or revenue generating project that also gets their brand out into the world, into a store, be in brick and mortars as well, online, and just a cool opportunity to start to bridge the gap. You made the point very eloquently. If we're going to on-chain billion, 2 billion people, we got to meet folks where they're at, which
Of
is,
course.
in these types of spaces. So we're excited to be partnering with Oaklandish and offering this. And the beauty is it can all be purchased in crypto. So, we're bringing this business, multi-million dollar business on chain at the same time.
I think this is massive. It's very, very huge. First of all, a couple reasons logistically, and just let's talk why this is big. So, if you're a project in the space, and I make the point people understand, you're nothing without a community. Absolutely nothing. I don't care what you could be the dopest project, but if no one cares about it, good luck. It's a very saturated market. Now, when it comes to merch, why is it important that every project have some sort of merch? Why? Simply because it gives more excitement to the community. People want to start wearing it. People get a sense of belonging. So if I'm a project and I'm serious about this, I think the merch component is huge. Because again, like for instance, I run Topi, myself and Base Junkie. It's an NFT project. We're basically bringing on-chain storytelling to the masses. But we have this collection of 2,222. By the way, are you into NFTs? Random question.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got you. Afterwards, you're gonna send me your address. I'm gonna give you a free one. It's gonna be dope.
Dope. Dope.
But basically, the whole premise is, eventually we're gonna have a merge component because that's the way people bond and create more value. But for most people, even myself, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know. I've never designed the fucking hat. I don't even know how to do it. But this is where you come in, and I guarantee you, 99% of people in crypto don't have any understanding. But the fact that you and Oaklandish can enable not only crypto payments, I see here, 5,000 something for this production inventory. That's nothing because you're getting, 144 snapbacks, tees, hoodies. And what I like, and correct me if I'm wrong, everything, there's no, logistically, everything is inventory is kept
You will
with
not
Oaklandish.
lick a single stamp. I
That's
promise
dope.
you that. Yeah, they'll handle it all. That's part of the
Amazing.
partnership that Roor is paying for with Oaklandish. So they warehouse everything. They do all the drop shipping. When someone orders something, it goes through their website. They do
Bro.
they mail it out. And there's a surcharge which is super reasonable. Don't quote me off the top of my head, but it's like it's a couple dollars. It's well
Bro.
worth the hassle of not spending all night in your living room with envelopes and addresses and trying to mail merge and all that
Yeah.
type of shit.
So all the logistics is handled in house with Oaklandish through you
Yeah.
guys. Like that's huge. So basically, this cost is to me, and you keep 100% of the profits you're saying or whatever. So you pay this upfront cost, and it's just basically when someone
Not only that, you
buys
get
it.
an email that says, "Hey, you're low on this item. Do you want to make another run of them?" And then you're like, "Yeah, dope. Let's
Oh,
do
dude,
it. Let's
bro,
do another run and put them back
bro.
on the shop."
I'm not saying this because you're on the stream, but this is gonna be big, man. This kind of service is needed. Again, people in crypto, we're not fucking clothing designers, especially in NFT land. I don't even know where to begin, but you provide this service. And as the bull run heats up, and I think any day now, everything is going to pop. 5,000 is really not a lot, to be honest with you, for the service that you get. So I think it's big, man. And I'm excited for that. So last words on your end, Zach. So right now, is every partner using Roar for the merch, or is it just like, hey, this is what we're doing now? If you're partnering, come find what we're doing.
Yeah, this is it. Today's we're releasing this for the first time, so we'll start sharing with all the
Wow,
partners. And it's you don't even necessarily have to be present there. If you have a project and you want to want your merch to be a part of the shop and be available for sale at the summit, you know, we can do that. We can do that too. But yeah, this is it. Today is the launch. Some definitely projects have been asking about it. We've been teasing it out a little bit, but starting today, we're taking orders, and we're available for anyone that's interested in you know, has any questions, of course. But yeah, that's it, and we'll see how
Dude,
it goes.
so basically in this package, you don't have to hold inventory. Everything is handled. Customers can go to Oaklandish just to purchase it. You get t-shirts, you get hoodies, and you get hats, and the design is yours, and you keep the profits. Like, I mean, bro, what's the catch? It seems too good to be true.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for what it's worth, I use Roor uses Oaklandish for everything that we manufacture, and my other businesses in the past, I use them every time I can. Their pricing is competitive, and the hands-on like customer service that you get is bar none. And anyone that's in the Bay Area, or if you come out here for the summit and you want to go take a tour of the warehouse, where they're manufacturing everything, happy to set that up too. I think it's important for folks to know and see like the places that are making their stuff. So that's an option out there for anyone.
And if I'm at the summit, I know I could pay USDC like online, but if I'm at the summit, will I still be able to pay in crypto?
Absolutely. No
bro,
question.
bro, bro. It seems like Daddy's gonna be buying some swag at the fucking event.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I don't see why we would be accepting USD at the summit at all. But that's not my call.
Hey, bro, that's what Coinbase Wallet's for. Let's go.
That's right.
All
That's
right,
right.
my friend. Well, Zach, pleasure, man. I'm looking forward to connecting with you in person. It'll be a fun time, man. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Really
Appreciate
great.
it. Appreciate you, my friend. All right, that was Zach from Roor, dude. My mind gets blown every time I come on these streams with just like alpha. And Zach just dropped some alpha 2 hours ago, custom merch. Like, I'm telling you right now, this just makes so much sense. And I'm actually going to, I don't know if it will be for the summit, because again, I rep Topi, but and it's an NFT, it's not really a meme project, but that is a key component, because again, if you're a project, you want to have community growth and building and a sense of pride. And if you're a dev or your team, what better way is to just buy swag? Hell, it's an upfront cost, but if you can somehow give away stuff like $5,000 for like all that stuff, and I don't have to worry about inventory and shipping, I'm going to recoup that just from brand loyalty, giveaways. People can buy it. I mean, yeah, dude, that's what we call fire in the crypto world. Fire, I tell you. So, anyways, looking forward to that. If you haven't done so already, please do check them out and buy your tickets. Buy your tickets. All right, so we have one more guest on, waiting for him. It's Chuck from formerly the Farcade. So let's just see here. So now they're called Remix. So while we wait for him, let's see what they're about. And shout out Farcade, by the way, was so much fun. I'm kind of bummed that they kind of let's see, that they kind of rebranded. But I guess, you know, when the VCs come calling, you do what you're told. Remix, play, build, and remix. Building Remix, backed by Variant Fund Base, Lemnis Cap, previously Shapeship Coin Cap, and it was a Farcade. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to dive deep in them. I really am. But while we wait for him, we'll give it a couple minutes. I think what Zach and Roor are doing is so cool. Like, it's just so unique. Like, there's so many opportunities out there to make crypto global in this industry. We need partners like what Zach and Roor are doing, Oaklandish is doing, because you have to meet people out in the middle, and because we live in this little echo bubble of crypto. It's fucking degens galore, but it's just a small segment of the population. in order for crypto and blockchain and all that stuff to go global, we need to meet people where they're at. And going to traditional Web2 stores like Oaklandish and having the inventory, because then you now have, you know, say you have merch about some crypto project. Now you're getting people in the world to kind of spot whether or not they even care about it, but they'll start seeing like your project's logo on a hat. They'll probably be like, what is that? It's really important. It is absolutely really important to do that, to utilize those services. So I'm glad they're making it easy. And so, Zach, if you're still there, I will definitely be hitting you up about doing this as well for the Topies. But anyways, enough about that. Let's just kind of see what Chuck is saying with Farcade. Farcade was a love letter to arcade culture. It was nostalgic, playful, and creative, but it also had limits. We're building the TikTok of gaming, the gaming social network where the games are built by the gamers. This wasn't feasible even 6 months ago. AI wasn't ready. Web distribution was slower. Mini apps were just launching. Remix isn't one innovation. It's a handful coinciding to make a truly revolutionary product. This summer is going to be huge. We got so much coming that we can't wait to show you. It's only begun. And like I said, July 1st, Farcade has rebranded to Remix, a platform where games are created, remixed, and discovered like TikTok. It's a 200 billion death note to bloated mobile gaming. Welcome to the next level. Remix into a fighting game? Whoa. Wow. That's a pretty cool trailer. Kind of like the music. It's pretty nice. Let's see if he's still on. I don't think he's on. So we'll give it like a couple more minutes. Otherwise, your boy Bill is gonna have to cut it short. But we've been going on for about an hour, so hopefully he can come. But while we're waiting, let's just see some charts. Why don't we see some charts? By the way, it seems like Mom's gonna be disappointed. You guys, we only have 2,409 people. You guys disappoint me. Now I'm gonna be on the streets with more gray hair. My wife will divorce me. My kids will think I'm a failure, but it's okay. You know why? Because I still like you guys. No Diddy. And I also like my XRP long. Let's go. I am now Brad Garlinghouse's #1 fan. Brad Garlinghouse, you are better than Satoshi Nakamoto. This little thing, let's just go to $3. Let's go, baby. Leverage. I'm going to be, this hits. Oh, we're going to be partying. We're going to be partying at Onchain Summit SF. I'm going to buy so much swag. People are going to be like, yo, what are you doing? I'll be like, I don't know. Thank Brad Garlinghouse. Because your boy has a leverage long on XRP. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to say one more time with Chuck. Yeah. This is what we call awkward, waiting for a guest. I think this was a good comment. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions, you know what? Why don't we just do it? Yo, Zach, I'm going to get you back on. You know what? It's kind of awkward just speaking to myself. Although I do think the XRP long is pretty good. Let's just vibe it for a couple more minutes. All right, so let's just let me ask you though, bro. What's your experience with? Because we didn't really dive deep into you. Like I got dive deep into how Roor got involved. But talk to me about you, bro. What is it like? What's your experience been in Web3? What kind of got you into this crazy, wonderful world we call crypto?
Yeah. So, I've been, I think like many of us throughout the last decade plus, like slowly starting to soak it in and learn as much as I can, and listening to a ton of podcasts in the early days and scrolling through Twitter, and just, started off understanding about 3% of what I was reading to, increasingly get more and more. And we were during the like 2020 run, a group of us were just having fun. We're all degens, so we're started this weekly call to kind of keep ourselves engaged throughout all the shelter in place stuff, where we would just each spend the week researching some shit coin and then shilling. Each of us would come with, I forget, there were 6 or 7 of us, and we'd come and just shill the shit coin that we just studied over the last week and try and convince everyone why they should buy a little bag of it. And it was fun. We mostly lost money doing that, but we had fun. And at one point, we were like, well, shit, maybe we should actually like use all this knowledge that we're gaining and spend all this time researching and like build something that's actually useful. And so at that time, many of us were really into sneakers. And so there's this a group of sneaker designers who don't work for any brands, and they kind of make their own designs, and they're custom sneakers, and they sell them. And the issue for them is they live in this gray space where you can't really mass produce them or produce them more than one, really, because then the shoe companies start going after you.
Yeah.
And once you sell the one, that's it, right? Like in the art world, like you've made that sale, but you're not getting any residual income if that shoe is traded or sold. And it's like provenance and certificate of authenticity. So we thought that maybe blockchain would be a solution for that, and that was sort of our entry point into just trying to figure out how bringing the technology to creatives. It just started to like overlap with all the NFT boom and the increase in popularity of that. And so we, for me personally, and in my other life and work, I'm very passionate about like social impact and equity and leveling the playing field. And this technology really felt like a way that regular folks could have access to markets, to residual income, to what they're building, and obviously the like the financial piece and the financial freedom of some of the tokens. And that was sort of the genesis of this all. And so from there we realized that our value was in bridging the in real life and the experience stuff with the brand stuff. And brands started coming to us, or nonprofits would come to us, or artists, creatives would come to us and say, hey, we're thinking about doing this, and we know blockchain's important, but we're not really sure how it applies. And we see these people making tons of money on whatever NFTs, but how does that apply to our business? And so for example, the partnership with Oaklandish, that started in 2022. We hosted a sneaker workshop with the owner and the founder of Oaklandish, and the objective wasn't to shill them anything or to sell her, on a product, or it was just to introduce the value and the benefit of this technology through something dope, like creating a sneaker. So she came, she built a sneaker, cobbled it with, from scratch. And at the same time, we in Blender and with our studio, we created the digital version of that. And in the sneakers, we embedded NFC chips, and we minted the 3D version at that time on OpenSea. And so when you scan the tongue tag with your phone, the OpenSea listing would come up. And again, we didn't create a marketplace for them to go sell these things. We weren't trying to get them to go. But the use case was like, all right, well, now you've created this physical good with your hands, and it is tied. You would have to destroy the shoe to get the NFC chip out, so it's tied to the chain, because it's when you scan it now, you can see the NFT that is serves as this certificate of authenticity and ownership. So if you keep the two together, the NFT serves as a provenance of the piece of art. And
Dude.
so, yeah, and then fast forward, over the last 3 years, she's like, all right, I get it now. And now we need to figure out, how does this apply to my business? And, I'm in selling merchandise and t-shirts. Most of my clients probably aren't on chain.
Mm-hmm.
And our argument to her is like, yeah, but there's a whole universe that's on chain that will be clients of yours. And all you need to do is enable this technology and start coming up with some cool ways to bring in the community. So, and that's where we are today with that project.
Dude, I love it, man. I love it. I love the fact that you and your friends were just like talking about shit coins too. You're like one of us. Where's that, like, Leonardo, like one of us, one of us.
That's right.
That is so cool, man. All right. Well, listen, dude, that's good to get to know you as a person as well. I think you're a cool guy, and I think I'm excited for Roor, man. I'm excited for, what you guys are doing with Oaklandish and yourself, what you're building. And I think as the market picks up, man, I think more people are going to be knocking on your door. So super cool, bro. Well, I think now for real, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to wrap it up. But yeah, dude, appreciate you, my friend, for coming on, and we'll get a drink when in person with Kevin.
For sure. Yeah. Before you go, if you want, I just sent you a link in the private chat for the
Let's go.
for all the
Let's
sneakers.
go. Let's
for all the
see
sneakers.
it. Ooh,
So
damn. All right, let's check
if
it
you
out.
pull it up.
All right, so what are we looking at?
So each one of these sneakers, it exists in the real world, like an individual made that physical shoe. And this is the NFT version. So of these, what is it? A 16, 21 sneakers or something. There's 21 shoes out in the real world with an NFC chip in the tongue that
Wow.
if you scan it, it'll take it to their individual sneaker. And so, and then part of the workshop is we create a wallet for them and we send them their token so that they can have it. And so that was sort of the beginning days of Roar. And since then we've sort of, I wouldn't quite call it a pivot, but just expanded beyond sneakers. So it's
Yeah.
merch. We hosted an art show, with Dimes last month at the Howard. I'm hosting some more art shows. So yeah, that's what it's all about. It's just about onboarding through dope shit.
That's the way to do it, and that's how we're going to bring the next 1 to 2 billion users. Everyone's doing their role. Can't just be about crypto dweebs. It's got to be about, people in the real world. So good stuff, bro. But all right, man. Zach, appreciate you, friend, and see you soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, guys. So yeah, it doesn't seem like Chuck will be able to come on. All good though. We'll do it another time. But your boy Bill's out. And so a couple things. Toby Tuesdays is in about 15 minutes. Come join that. Vibe with the tribe. Learn about what we're cooking. At some point in life, NFTs are going to pop. And I really believe in what we're doing. Creating decentralized storytelling is unique. Being able to create unique IP through your imagination is what we provide. So come check that out. And probably bring out a newsletter later. Every day, Monday through Friday, Based AF, your 2-minute source of news. And that's it, guys. Tomorrow, there will be no stream. Thursday, I'll be on with Rachel. Time to touch grass. Actually, I won't be touching grass. I'm going to be checking my bags. And hopefully, we send it to the moon. All right, everyone. We will catch you later. Cheers.